Hey everybody, Joe the Naturalist here. We're here at Brass Castle Creek and we're going to be looking at macroinvertebrates, creepy crawlies that you find in streams around here. Now they may not seem like much to you, but they're actually essential for telling how healthy the streams are around here. Today we're going to be scooping them up out of the river and taking a closer look at these tiny little monsters. So, freshwater macroinvertebrates. Let's break this down. Freshwater meaning it's only found in lakes, rivers, and streams. Benthic means that they're found on the bottom instead of nectonic and planktonic, which is found higher in the water column. Macro means that they're visible to the naked eye, unlike micro, which is only visible under the microscope. And invertebrates means that they don't have a backbone. So this whole word covers a lot of different kinds of organisms that we're going to see in just a sec. All right, so we're going to be focusing on finding where these macros are hiding. So I'm here with my friend Tyler. Can you tell me where we're going to find these macros mainly?
Sure. So where we're going to be checking mostly are areas where the water is falling over the rocks, creating bubbles. And in those bubbles, there's a lot of oxygen. So we're going to try to find a lot of macros in that environment. Not only that, we're going to search some of these leaf packs here. They tend to build up inside of those leaf packs and find cover in there. So we're going to be searching those areas predominantly.
Awesome. Let's get started. All right. So when I do riffles, I want to make sure that the net, the bag portion, is always on the back side so that the flow is going into the net. That way, nothing really escapes it. So riffles are rocks that are just sitting in the middle of the stream and a lot of water is passing around it. And as Tyler said, there's a lot of oxygen there, and insects love that. So, I'm going to go right here, put my net right on the bottom, and I'm going to take a lot of these rocks and kind of scrape them up. It feels like there's a lot of gravel in there, so instead of using my hands, which I usually do with larger rocks, I'm going to take my foot and what I call doing the macro shuffle. So I'm going to take my foot and kind of stir up the rocks in there, because within those rocks are usually a lot of macros. Since I did a lot of the smaller rocks right there, I'm going to take one of the larger rocks and scrape them off too. So this large rock here, woo, gotta make sure the large rock doesn't flow into the net. Well, I can feel some insects on there right now. Lots of caddisflies. Oh, we got lots of stuff in here. Ah, right here. Case building caddisfly right here. These guys usually build large cases of pebbles and sand, and they stick it together to make a sort of house of a sense. It's almost like a shell, which is why they're called case building caddisflies. Now, this is a larvae, and this one's going to stay in here for quite a while until it emerges as an adult. And they'll continue to live their lives with their case attached to a rock, usually right around the riffle. This one's quite green and large, but they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes depending on the species. We'll probably see a lot of these guys today. Now we're basically going to invert the net into the seine bucket. But as you can see, there's still a lot of stuff attached to it. Lots of tiny macros like to hang on. And we are going to take a little piece of Tupperware, kind of wipe it off. Do it on the inside, do it on the outside. We're not going to miss a spot on this thing. We make every sample count. But we'll keep on going to another habitat around here. But we already have a bunch of stuff, even from there. Some stuff I might not be able to see right now because of it's so tiny. Alrighty, let's move on. I'm not sure which riffle to choose from.
I know.
pretty good spots right here. Like, I don't know if to use the waterfall here or like going to the pool here. I already have stuff exploited iconically.
Oh, yeah. Just put it down in there.
Woo! Jackpot, baby! Woo! Let's go. Good stuff.
So Joe just showed you guys how to do riffles under the rocks. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sample these leaf packs right here to get a nice shot of this area here. They're around all these bubbles, and they're all piled up underwater submerged. So this should be a good spot. So what I like to do is just kind of get under the twig, ruffle around a little bit, like so. The messier, the better. Get some leaves into the sample itself. Just kind of disturb the habitat so that they fall inside, and the water will carry it into my net. And there we have a leaf sample. A lot of leaves inside. Hopefully some good surprises.
Oh, that is a net spinning caddisfly there, the green one. Nice color. What a cool color.
Lovely.
Black flies are fine.
Oh, is that crayfish?
Yeah.
Just for perspective, look at that. About the size of my pinky.
Wow, that's crazy.
So while it may seem like macroinvertebrates are only good for fish food, that are animals that are living in these waters, they're actually incredibly important for scientists to actually tell how good the water quality is in this habitat. These guys are indicator species, which means they're sensitive to their environment, showing that if they're found in a certain spot, that means that habitat is definitely much better. For example, some of the macroinvertebrates we found today are pollution intolerant, which means that they do not exist in waters that have pollution, while other species don't really mind the pollution as much and can survive in it quite well. So now we're putting in the entire sample into water in a bucket so that we can properly sort it out.
There we go.
Look at that. So much life hanging out on the sides. I can't wait to get in this soup of insects and invertebrates. Now to separate our sample by different organisms on this ice tray that we have here, we're going to take a subsample by taking a Tupperware like this and taking a nice scoop of it. Let's hope I get a good batch. And what we do, we sort it using different tools like a spoon or a pipette, and we basically look through each subsample, pick everything out and organize it while keeping a tally to make sure we know what we have. Another stonefly, I think. Yeah. Black fly. Midge. Black fly. All right, cleared out this one. Time to go for a new one. Put this in here just in case I missed any. And now, gonna get a good one. All right. Here we go. Let's go for some more.
Take a look at this crane fly.
You can see on the tip of the body right there, there's some nice spiracles that they use for breathing. We found this guy in a nice leaf pack. They get pretty large, sometimes up to around 3 inches. Here we have 2 different species of mayflies in this dish. And you can see that there's actually a pretty big diversity within mayflies. Here we have one that's a bit wider. And then we have one that's almost fish-like. But you can see key features that really allow you to group them up together. For example, these are the only ones on the key that have 3 tails on them. We'll see this guy also has 3 tails. Also notice they have gills on their abdomen as well. And they both have that too. Literally on the dot?
Let me check again. Alright, so we found 32 mayflies, 9 stoneflies, 11 case-building caddisflies, 5 net-spinning caddisflies, 2 craneflies, 1 sow bug, 1 scud, 2 crayfish, 20 black flies, 16 midges, and 1 lung snail for a total of 100 macroinvertebrates in this stream!
Yeah! When it comes to stream sampling, we want the highest amount of diversity. And by looking at the different kinds of macros, we can kind of organize them between some that are tolerant to pollution and some that are intolerant to pollution and some that are in the middle. So we have a whole demographic of different kinds of macros here showing the greatest diversity, meaning this is a really healthy stream. And that's awesome to see. All right, time to let him go. All right, so we had an amazing day looking at the beautiful diversity of macroinvertebrates in Brass Castle Creek, showing that it was a very clean stream and it's meant to stay clean. Well, that's all we have time for today. Be sure to subscribe and like for more nature content, and we'll see you out in the field.
Come on, back it up.
Did it work?
Yeah, it was kind of, you ruined the shot though. Right, he was back at his way, he was about to walk the plank out. Donna goes, "Ugh."
Scud.
Scud.
There we go.